Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. So just like my previous video about traveling, my girlfriend is behind the camera helping me shoot this, which I can't really explain how blessed I feel for that. She's just there on her phone, like, showing her support. So today's video is going to be 3 money lessons that I learned growing up poor. This is going to be a title that is very dear to me, and I was honestly looking forward to make this one. Growing up poor teaches you things that no school, no book, no mentor, no millionaire, or no YouTube video can really teach you. It gives you a different type of hunger, and it gives you also a different type of fear. You watch your parents break their back just so you can eat. You feel guilt when you ask something. I remember there was periods where just us being kids, we would ask, "Oh, can I get the latest Xbox? Can I get the latest game?" And even though we were kids, when we would make such a request, I remember that I was guilty as hell. And those things, they just teach you how to survive. I grew up in that world, and to this day I carry those lessons with me every day. So yeah, welcome to this video, and in this video I want to share 3 things that I learned growing up poor. I remember back in Italy all the hard time that me and my family used to have just to survive, and from simple things like my mom working from 9 o'clock in the morning until like 2 p.m. until when we finish school, and then coming and picking us up, and then we would not go home for the next hour or two just because we would be doing kind of like grocery shopping to buy food for the day. So those things and those experiences told me the lesson number 1 that I will be sharing in this video, and that is, I know this might sound cliche, but that is save as much as you can. And I know it sounds basic, and everyone's gonna say, everyone says that, save your money. But when you're broke, saving isn't a choice. Saving is really your only way to survive. And that's exactly where the habit begins and where discipline is born. When I got my first paycheck from work, I remember, but that was when I came to London. I didn't blow it, I saved it. And because I just thought, I didn't know what else to do with. But most of the people, when they get their first paycheck, they buy the latest designer bag, or just spend it in some bullshit. But I had that mindset because I grew up poor, and I didn't want to just buy something. I kept it. All of the money, I remember, for the first 2 years until I started working, I didn't really spend it on anything. I just saved it. So I knew that I could have saved it for kind of like a better thing than just kind of like a 5-minute dopamine kick. And it also makes you realize that you work so hard. You work like an hour a day just to make £12.13. But when I began, obviously inflation and everything, it was way less than what an average worker would get paid now. So you would break your back just to earn like £10, let's say, euros or dollars, wherever you are, and then for me, wasting that £10 into something, it was just not fair, and it was not worth it. So even if it was just £10, I would save it, and not because it would have potentially made me a millionaire overnight, but because me saving that £10 would build character and momentum in me. And here's the truth: if you can't save even £1 when you're broke, you won't even be able to save, let's say, 10k when you're rich. Trust me on this. It's, as I said, it's a mindset, and it's not a money problem. It's discipline and your mindset. Lesson number 2, guys, is the saving that you have done is done for a reason. It's done to reinvest. So lesson number 2, save to reinvest. So the goal is not just to save so you can keep it in an ISA saver account, and then have kind of like a tax-free allowance, bro. It doesn't work like that. If you're starting as a beginner, just do that, but we will get more deeper into this in the coming months. It's not just about saving it and then leaving it there, but in a very friendly way to approach this: save to reinvest. This is what separates survivors to build this. When I was a child, and I'm talking about like 5, 6 years old, but like most of us, I thought that having a bit of money would mean that you finally get to enjoy life, you know, buy the latest shoes, buy the watches and that kind of stuff. But obviously you grow up and then you start to realize the truth behind the financial system. What really changed for me was reaching that certain age and just realizing that if this purchase is not going to make me a better person, or if it's not going to help me, I don't want it. I don't want that 5-minute, 10-minute dopamine kick just to be kind of like not satisfied with the product for the rest of your life. That doesn't work for me. I want to reinvest my money into something that will make me a better person and would help me grow my businesses. So I stopped with no more kind of like dopamine kicks, no more fake rushes, and I never actually, I wouldn't even say I stopped, I never really actually helped myself do anything, let's say. Instead, I put the money that I saved, my reinvesting was putting the money into prop firms and then into courses and all that kind of stuff. So me reinvesting the money into those products were an asset, not a liability. So technically, I save to build tools, not trophies. So your 20s should not be about flexing, but it should be about stacking and then growing. So trust me on this, guys. This is the key sentence I need to take out from this video. Delayed gratification is the cheat code. Let everyone else post on social media their latest purchases and all that kind of stuff while you stack money to grow, because when the opportunity is coming, you'll be ready with the money that you have saved up to invest it into something. So that's what real wealth is. Not loud, not flashy. Let's just say there's a time for that, but right now it's not the time for that. Real wealth is when you are able to make calculated moves to become the person that you want to be. Lesson number 3, guys. Money isn't freedom, but control is. This one took me the longest to understand. I thought that once I had money, I would finally be free, that the stress would go away. Let's just clarify that obviously I'm still not a millionaire, so I'm nowhere where I want to be. I don't have that much money either. So, but this is just a lesson that I learned from being broke into becoming the person that is working towards the goal, or towards the person that I want to be. Like, the point with lesson number 3 is that money alone doesn't really solve anything. I've seen people that make 10k, 20k, they are still broke, and that still live paycheck to paycheck. They've got the apartment, they've got the cars and everything, but they live paycheck to paycheck and they're not really happy with the way they live. You know, they've got all of these things, but they don't have peace. Why? If you're wondering why, that's because they did not unlock the number 1 skill. They still let money control them, and they do not control money. That's the biggest lesson that you're gonna get out of this. You need to come to a position where you are able to control money and not let money control you. The financial system of today is designed in a way that money controls you. And if you guys want to know more things about this, just stick to this channel, because I'm not trying to get cancelled, number 1, but in a way I'm able to teach you guys those things that the average person does not know really. This financial system nowadays is designed to keep you controlled and a slave to money. But if you really want to escape that, you need to learn the skills that will give you the power to be able to control money. So yeah, guys, lesson number 3 is about controlling money and not letting money control you. And all of these 3 lessons, guys, they come in time, and you can't just skip lesson number 1 and then jump into lesson number 3. Each of these steps, they come with time. So lesson number 1 is saving, lesson number 2 is saving to reinvest, and then number 3 is learning how to control money and do not letting money control you. So you need to make sure that you don't skip any of those phases. You know, what I would suggest is the same things that I have done, which is number 1, saving by getting a job. You need to start with the job. It can be part-time, it can be just like 10 hours a week, I don't care. Even if you're making £500, because I'm in the UK, a month, try to save that. If you're a student, if you're living with your parents, it's gonna be much better, because you're able to stack up that money, at least 50% of the money, if not even more than that, like I was able to do. I was a student, I was 17 when I started my first job, so my parents didn't really ask money from myself. So I was able to save up at least 80% of the money that I made from my part-time job, and then I saved it for the first 2-3 years until I was able to reinvest there, and until I was actually able to understand where really the market needed for us to invest the money in. And then I learned the biggest lesson, which is making sure that you control money and not letting be controlled by money. So what I just said is probably the cheat code into becoming successful. So just as a closing thought, I want to say that those lessons, they were not really easy to learn. Those were years and years of me being in the trenches, and I repeat, I still am in the trenches. I didn't read them in a book, I lived them. I watched my parents sacrifice every single day. I felt the pain of not having, the fear of not making it, but those same struggles gave me the mindset that I have now. So if you're in a tough spot right now, you will make it. If you start using the things that I said, and obviously beyond that, you will make it. Use it to let it build you. Like, save every coin that you can. Reinvest all of that into an asset that will make you even more money, and fight for control. That is a scheme for success. Just as an ending, you don't have to be rich today, but you need to start at least thinking and calculating like a person who's going to be rich in the next 3-4 years. Again, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.